Blood at high noon, a tale of vengeance. The sun hung like a tarnished copper penny in the bleeding sky, its dying rays painting Devil's Fork in shades of crimson and gold. Sheriff Tom Granger stood at his post, steady as an old oak, though his stomach was doing barrel rolls fit for a circus show. His weathered fingers, trained by years of lightning-quick draws, danced nervously over his pearl-handled Colt. "Ain't no way around it now," he muttered, tasting dust and destiny on his tongue. 20 years of wearing the tin had earned him crow's feet deeper than wagon ruts and a reputation harder than boot leather. But today, those years felt heavy as lead on his shoulders. The badge that had been his North Star now seemed to burn straight through his vest, marking him like a bull's eye for Jake the Hawk Henderson's bullets. The Hawk hadn't always been the sidewinder he was today. Time was, they'd ridden together, shared coffee strong enough to float a horseshoe, and called each other brother. That was before the war, before Jake's family was caught in the crossfire of a bank robbery gone wrong, a robbery Granger had failed to prevent. "Should have been there sooner," Granger whispered to the ghost of that day. "Should have seen it coming." The town clock told 11, its bronze voice echoing off empty boardwalks like a funeral bell. Devil's Fork had battened down tighter than a drum, with only the occasional tumbleweed brave enough to dance down Main Street. Behind locked doors and drawn curtains, townsfolk crossed themselves and whispered prayers into the thick air. From his vantage point, Granger could see the whole sorry spread of Devil's Fork, once a jewel of the territory, now just another played-out hand in the great poker game of the West. The railroad had come and gone like a fickle lover, leaving behind empty promises and emptier pockets. A dust devil whirled at the edge of town, and through its copper veil rode the Hawk, straight-backed as a ramrod and twice as deadly. His black duster cut a slice through the air like the wing of his namesake, and the twin Colts at his hips gleamed with malicious intent. "Time to settle up, Tom." The Hawk's voice carried across the distance, sharp as a rattler's warning. "You owe me a debt that's past due." Granger stepped off the boardwalk, boots crunching in the sun-baked dirt. "Jake, we were friends once. Don't let the past poison what's left of your future." The Hawk's laugh was dry as dead leaves. "Future? My future died with Sarah and the boys. You're just the undertaker who ain't finished the job yet." The clock struck 12. 2 shots split the air like thunder. 2 men fell. The dust settled over Devil's Fork like a burial shroud, and the sun continued its eternal trek across the merciless sky. In the end, it wasn't justice or vengeance that won the day, it was the cruel mathematics of lead and powder, of action and consequence, of debts paid in full. They found Sheriff Granger still breathing, the Hawk's bullet lodged in his shoulder, while Jake the Hawk Henderson lay face up in the street, his eyes fixed on the endless blue above. In his final moments, they say his expression wasn't one of hate or anger, but of peace, as if somewhere between the drawing of iron and the final fall, he'd found the forgiveness he hadn't known he was seeking. The townsfolk would later say that on that day, Devil's Fork died too. Not with a bang or a whimper, but with the quiet acceptance that some chapters of the West were written in blood and could only be closed the same way. They buried the Hawk at sunset, and Sheriff Granger was there, arm in a sling, to throw the first handful of dirt. Some said they saw tears in the old lawman's eyes, though whether they were for his former friend or for the weight of all their shared yesterdays, none could say for certain. If you are enjoying Adventures in the Old West channel, hit the subscribe button for future posts.